Hello and welcome to this episode of I Don't Know Jack About Parenting, where today I'm going to be asking you the question: would you quit your addictions for your kids?
So the big question is this: how are parents like us, who don't have a manual, who are doing the best we can, who feel as though we aren't enough, how are we going to raise healthy, happy children who we are proud of and still keep our sanity in that process? That's the question, and this podcast will give you the answers. My name is Ryan Roy, and welcome to I Don't Know Jack About Parenting, a podcast for parents who are being real with themselves.
Hello and welcome to this episode of I Don't Know Jack About Parenting, where today I'm going to be asking you the question: would you quit your addictions for your kids? So what prompted this? You know, we all have vices in life. I don't care who you are, what you are. You can sit there and think you're perfect. I have my stuff. You have your stuff. So I will say this before I even start: there is zero judgment. I have my own stuff. My question is, if it can hurt other people, the people who love you, if they could potentially harm other people, and believe me, no matter what it is, it hurts other people. For instance, and you guys are going to laugh. I don't care who you are, you're going to laugh, and you're like, that's not an addiction. I love NFL football. And nowadays, NFL football is on Thursday night. It's on Sundays. It's on Monday night, sometimes 2 games. And if you look at it, you could be watching football a lot of hours per week. And that's not even talking about the ESPN highlights and the statistics and the breakdown, and if there's fantasy football and all that other hoopla. So for me, and I don't do it so much now that I have kids, but there was a time, and it still happens occasionally during the season, that I will binge watch and start at 10 o'clock in the morning with the pre-games and watch till 11 o'clock at night NFL football. And I'm perfectly content with not leaving the sofa. That's a problem, because my wife suffers during that time, my kids suffer during that time. And some dads out there, you're going to be like, listen, dude, you watch it with your kids. They like being with dad. Not if it's not what they like. People suffer around you when you can literally do something for 12 hours and not pay attention to the world around you. And again, some of you will start making excuses like, man, you deserve that if you work hard. You this, you that, the other. And we make excuses, justifications, reasons why it's okay. Some of you have an alcohol problem. Some of you have a porn problem. Some of you have a gambling problem. I don't know what your problem is. If a mom's listening to this, you may have a shopping problem. You may be a shoeaholic. I don't know. But just know we all have something, and that's okay. Question is, how is it affecting our children? Now, what prompts this? I was talking to a friend today, and he's like, man, you know, Rye, this has been, working hard lately, and I go home and I just want to have a beer and relax, and the beer turns into 2, and it turns into 3, and it turns into 10 and 12 sometimes. He goes, and I don't think I need it. It's just a habit. And I put it into perspective for him. I said, you have little ones, right? He's like, yeah. He goes, and sometimes I have too many in the morning. I'm kind of a little hungover, and I'm looking forward to like popping a beer to get over my hangover. And I'm like, okay. He's in a season of his life similar to mine where a lot of stuff is going on, and there's times that I don't mind having a drink either, but not to the point where I will feel it in the morning. Fortunately, I don't have that challenge. I don't think I have a bladder big enough to consume, I don't know. I'm not a beer drinker, so that many drinks. So I said to him, let's talk about perspective. I said, and I'm going to ask you a question, and please just answer it honestly. But did your dad drink a lot of beers when he came home? when you were little? And he says, yeah. I said, and you're an adult now, and you have a relationship with your dad. What happens when you and your dad get together? What do you guys do? He goes, we drink beers. I said, let me ask you a question, because you're seeing it as a little bit of a challenge. We're low on energy, we're tired, but we think we deserve that. That's the way you kind of like celebrate the day of, and he's very successful, just so you know. I mean, this guy's super successful, and he gets home and he wants to have a couple beers. There's nothing wrong with that. I said, let me ask you a question. Do you want your son, when he's older and of age, as an adult, do you want him to come home and pop and have a 6-pack or 10-pack or a 12-pack of beers? He's like, no. So he's going to mimic everything you do. And he may be young now, but if you don't kick the habit, he's going to follow in daddy's footsteps. So my question to you isn't whether or not you want to do this for yourself. My question to you is, if you know you're having a challenge with it and you know it's not the best thing for you, are you willing to be the role model for your child so that he or she doesn't mimic what you do? I don't know jack about parenting. I know we all have vices and we all have challenges. But I'll tell you, those little eyes look up to you as if you could do no wrong. And when you do wrong, they don't see it as wrong. They do it as, I want to do exactly what mom or dad is doing, because I trust them, I believe in them, I want to be like them. So if there's anything you do that you know isn't in their best interest or even your best interest, don't do it for yourself. Change that behavior for them. That's my challenge to you. Look yourself in the mirror, figure out your vice, figure if it can hurt your child, and maybe we do it in moderation. I don't think there's anything wrong with 2 beers if you like the taste and it's a thirst quencher a couple nights a week. But I'll be honest, you know, as I talk to him, my thought is, if you can't stop at 2 or 3, there may be a challenge there greater than you believe. And he needs to look himself in the mirror. But I didn't tell him that. I told him there needs to be something greater that can get hurt if you don't change your behavior. Because many times we value other things outside of us way more than we value ourselves. I'll see you in the next episode.
Do you want to be the dad you wish you had? If so, go get my free book, Be the Dad You Wish You Had, at BeTheDadYouWishYouHad.com. Inside, you'll find my most effective 40 tips to quickly and easily transform yourself into the ideal dad. Go to BeTheDadYouWishYouHad.com now and get it while it's free.